Hey everyone, it's Alex here, and on today's episode of the YaBonks Show, I have two very special guests today with Ace MinersNFTs. I have Zara and AJ here. Zara, AJ, do you guys want to introduce yourselves and let the audience know a little bit about yourselves?
Sure, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Alex, for having us on here. It's such a pleasure to be on your platform. We were really looking forward to this moment. So just a little bit of background. My name is Zara. I'm the founder of Ace MinersNFT. A little bit about what I've done in the past. I've been mining for the last 3 years. I started mining just from the comfort of my home in a one-bedroom apartment, converted my balcony into sort of a mining facility, and I started with the L3 Plus, which is the Litecoin and Dogecoin miner. And I basically took some of those profits and reinvested them into purchasing more miners. And I quickly realized how lucrative it is. And so I got super passionate and interested in the whole crypto mining industry. And then I actually opened up a company called Ace Miners Pro, which caters to customers within the US and worldwide. And what we do is basically we offer ASICS at a more competitive rate. So very reasonable rates that we offer. Yep. Cool. And ever since then, I've been in this field and, helped a ton of people grow their mining farms. I've had customers that started with just one miner and then progressively expanded.
That's awesome. So what did your landlord think of you mining in your one-bedroom apartment?
So I didn't get a lot of complaints to start off with, with just like one or two miners. But then once I had 10 of them running, it got worse. And then I started getting some complaints. So I quickly realized that I had to find an alternative. And that's when I started researching crypto pods and hosting and things like that. So I was able to invest in my first pod and then just ship them out there. So it was a lot easier than having to do it, because also you got to worry about the heat. These miners produce a lot of heat, also the noises you mentioned, and ventilation. So there are so many components that go into it. So it's not as easy as it sounds. It's not something that you can just plug in and have it go. There are so many factors that come into play.
So what are some of the factors that made you decide to stop mining in your apartment and move it to one of these pods or other facilities?
So the biggest factor, I would say, Alex, is the noise and the heat production too. They produce so much heat, and I just couldn't, keep them running. I also didn't want my neighbors to complain, and so I started researching alternatives. And that's what really got me to do that.
Gotcha.
And on top of that, I forgot to mention it's the electricity. It cuts into your profit because residential rates are about 12 cents. Where I'm located. So it was quite high. So it eats away from that profit. So when you look at other facilities that are fully equipped, you can get much lower rates.
Interesting. Yeah, that's true. I get about 11 cents per kilowatt hour here. So like it's pretty decent, but I have some friends that pay like 15, 16, 17. Some people in that I talk to in Europe pay like 20 or 30 cents even, like crazy.
In California, they pay 25, I think, 22.
Yeah, in Portugal too. It's really bad in Portugal. I know a lot of facilities that actually have had to go out of business because of this, and especially now with inflation. So, yeah.
And AJ, do you want to tell the viewers a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name is AJ. I'm a systems engineer. In IT systems engineering. I've been in the field for about 15 years now, and I got introduced to miners via Zara, who introduced me to miners. So it was an easy transition to me coming from the field of IT, and I started getting into mining 3 years ago. So that was fun. I started mining with L3s as well about 3 years ago. Zara brought one to me. I took it apart. Look, I couldn't believe that you can mine Litecoin with that machine and convert that Litecoin to money, to fiat money. So that was impressive to me.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, do you have a degree in computer science?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Very cool.
So I have a master's in computer science.
Awesome. I only have a bachelor's, but yeah, that's awesome, man. Very cool. How did you guys meet, by the way, and how did you end up in business together?
So that's a great question. So AJ is actually my sibling.
No way.
Yes.
What?
Yes,
the plot thickens. This is crazy. That's
So yeah,
awesome.
he's my brother, and we've been we got into mining together. So I started researching it 3 years ago, and I was like, oh my God, AJ, you'll love this, and so I introduced him to it, and ever since then he's been so intrigued. And I thought of him first because of his IT background, and I knew he could just take apart a hashboard and just try to play around with it. So he's always been super tech savvy, since we were kids. So yeah.
I would think it would be the other way around, where AJ would be like, "Sorry, you gotta hear about, you gotta learn about this." So,
Yeah.
Zara, how did you stumble upon crypto mining before AJ?
Yeah. So I also have a bit of an IT background as well, but I actually got into crypto, over 3 years ago, and I started learning like technical analysis and how to trade. And I actually got into bot trading as well, how to program certain bots to do automatic trades. And so that's what led me to mining. I was looking for alternatives, and I was looking for something that was lower risk rather than trading. So it was quite risky, and I played around with it for a bit. And then, I started getting into mining, and I realized how much profitable it actually is. And the lower risk is what interested me the most. So, so that's how I got into it. Yeah.
Very cool. So, give me an elevator pitch for Ace Miners NFT. What's your project all about?
So basically, Ace MinersNFT is a mining project, NFT mining project. So we basically dedicate a hash rate per NFT. So this hash rate power converts into rewards. What we essentially do is we mine Litecoin, Dogecoin, and Kadena, and we convert those rewards for our holders. So all you have to do is hold on to your digital asset. So it's kind of a hassle-free way into mining, like introducing our members to mining without the hassle that comes along with it, and without all the difficulties that I've had to endure. So I would say you just hold on to your NFT, and it grants you access to the mining farm.
Cool. So, if I understood this correctly, Ace Miners NFTs give you exposure to Litecoin, Dogecoin, and Kadena hash rates. And do you own the mining rigs or the ASICs? Because I believe those all require ASICs these days to mine efficiently. Do you guys own all of those devices?
Yes, we do. We own the devices. We also own the crypto pod where they're being hosted as well.
What is a crypto pod?
So do you want to describe it, AJ?
Sure. So it's a 20-foot container. It's a fully customized container. You can check out pictures on our website and our Discord. So it has exhaust fans coming all the way from outside, pulling the hot air out. So it's fully ventilated. It's and our pods is hydropowered. So it's fully renewable energy.
Wow. Okay. So this is all like a green energy like effort here. So I know a lot of people right now, it's in the headlines everywhere that Bitcoin mining's bad for the environment. It takes up so much electricity. So you guys don't have that issue, do you?
Right, we do not. Yeah, it's completely friendly, so it minimizes our carbon footprint. So it definitely helps. And at some point, the government will regulate things to be fully hydropowered. So we wanted to kind of be ahead of the game.
Wow. How does that work? Do you like have a stream going by with one of those like paddles that's like turning like a turbine that's turning like an alternator, and you have like an inverter and a battery array, and then you've got like your pod plugged into that? Or are you guys doing something a little different?
That's exactly what it is. So it's fully hydropower. It's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So it's converting the hydro energy into actual energy.
And are you guys do you guys have like a deal or a partnership with a like a legit hydro power plant?
Yeah, so our hosting sites, they host our pods, and they offer hosting as well, and we host our pod there in their land. So they own the land, the hydro powered lands, and we put our fully customized pod in there.
That's cool. Nice. I've heard of other like hydro powered mining projects that are very popular right now in the space, and I know you guys like hydro whales, or you guys know them, and they're like in a power plant. So you guys are saying you actually have, they gave you space to put a whole pod, like a shipping container type thing that's decked out with all your mining
Yes.
rigs and the AC and the climate control stuff.
Yes. So the hosting side, they sell
awesome.
customized pods, so we purchase the pod from them, and they own the land.
That's interesting. Cool. Do you,
Yep.
Are you guys allowed to tell me like where in the world this is located?
It's in Washington State. It's 4 hours from Seattle.
Okay.
Right.
Nice.
Like that. Yep.
Nice. That's awesome. And while we're talking about this, I want to pull up your website just so I can give the viewers an idea of some of what we're talking about here. Let's see. Your website's right here. And this is something I want to point out right off the bat. It says first woman founded crypto mining NFT project. Is that true? Is this the first woman founded crypto mining NFT project that we know of?
As far as we know.
For mining specifically, yes. Obviously, there are so many other women-founded NFT projects, but when it comes to mining specifically, this is the only one that we know of. Very
cool. Well, that's awesome. I love seeing more women leaders in the space. I did an AMA with another CEO that is female, and she's a powerhouse as well, and it's super cool seeing this space evolving, because it is like super male dominated right now. I don't know what that's about, if it's just because it's like like when I went to computer science engineering school, AJ, you could probably relate to this. I think there was like 5 girls in my entire college of engineering for computer science specifically.
Yep, that's exactly right. Yep.
Yeah, so I think it must have something to do with that.
Yeah, it's very much male dominated, and we want to bring more women into Web3, and which is why I advertise it, to be able to get that exposure, because you've got two kinds of people. You have, supportive men such as yourself, who really want to bring more women in the space and kind of bridge that gap. And then you kind of see the other side to it, the other mentality that's like, well, a woman can't do it as well as a man. So I got to witness both aspects and both mentalities.
Interesting. Yeah, I have no doubt in your capabilities. It seems like your project is well run. Now, I do want to be objective and transparent and impartial here, but this does seem, from all of my research, I did a bunch of DD and did a deep dive on this before we got to this point to prepare for this AMA, and it's a cool project. I love this concept of basically giving yourself exposure at an affordable rate to this cool technology and these opportunities that, like, I can't afford an ASIC miner, right? Like, that's gonna put me in some serious debt. If I got myself a $10,000 mining rig, it might pay itself off after a year or two or something, but like these things are expensive. So this gives you, like, people like me the ability to get just like a slice of it, something that is affordable for me without all the overhead. Did I kind of frame that correctly?
Yeah.
Yep. It's fractionalized ASIC mining. That's exactly what it is.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then I want to show, do you have the pictures here on the website of the pod somewhere?
You should, there should be in our Discord under project updates.
Oh, okay. I actually don't have Discord open at the moment.
I see.
But I do have some other pictures of, like, is this inside the pod?
Yes, that's inside the pod. Yep.
This is crazy. So this pod is like a 20-foot long shipping container that you have decked out for this purpose.
Exactly.
Yep, exactly.
Super cool. Now, this is your pod. Are all of these miners part of Ace MinersNFTs?
We host them for our customers. So we host them for a monthly fee. So customers purchase our miners through us, and we offer hosting because they obviously, some of them can't run them at home with the electrical and the heat and noise. So yeah, we do offer all those miners you're seeing there. Most of them are customers' miners.
Okay.
Yeah, some of them are our own personal miners as well. Just because for me, for the most part, I've reinvested my profits from mining into purchasing more miners. So a lot of those are actually my miners too.
Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah, and there you guys are. And let's see. I wanted to point this out. If people didn't know, you actually are an ASIC distributor. So you both are involved in the ASIC industry. So before launching Ace Miners NFTs, you have been selling these devices and then also hosting them for customers and things like that. So as far as being qualified to do this and to know what you're doing, it seems like you guys have a lot of experience doing this, because if you go to aceminerspro.com, you can actually order some of these devices from you guys, from your distributorship. And you can see you guys there and the rest of your team for that business. And with that being said, here's an example. I believe this is how you guys are mining Litecoin in the pod. Is that right?
Yes.
Yep, that is correct.
So
yeah,
can you
L7.
Can you tell me a little bit about the L7 and why you guys went with this for Litecoin mining?
Yeah, so we actually chose the L7 specifically because it was the latest script algorithm of a miner, and I personally started with the L3, which I really liked, and I researched the difficulty on this unit, which was pretty good. It wasn't an increased difficulty, so the profits pretty much remain the same. Even in a bear market, we're still profitable. So I decided to choose something that's lower risk and a miner that has the ability to last quite a while because it's the latest one on the market for this specific algorithm. So the lifespan is typically about 5 years. It can be longer, but just judging from when Bitmain had released the L3 Plus, it took about 5 years to upgrade and release the L7. So it'll take another approximately 5 years for that upgrade as well. So we wanted something fairly low risk and still profitable. If you look at Bitcoin mining, I mean, it's great and all, but it's not as profitable. So Litecoin is a really good option. It's undervalued, underrated. It's considered Bitcoin's baby brother. Very similar technology. I'm very bullish on Litecoin. And I've been mining it for quite a while, so I wanted to offer something that I've personally used as well.
Yeah, so like Zara said, yeah, Litecoin is very undervalued. It's considered the silver to Bitcoin's gold. It was initially created to be used as for daily transactions. In comparison to Bitcoin, it's more of an asset that you hold on to. So the fees are very low for Litecoin. The transaction fees are fast speed, less than 2 minutes. And the L7 also mines Dogecoin. So when actually Dogecoin hits 75 cents again, so it's going to be a lot more profitable for us.
And that's interesting that you mentioned Dogecoin, because those the Litecoin miners give you exposure to Dogecoin as well, right? So right now, like, Dogecoin is a fraction of its all-time high. So is Kadena, and Litecoin has been around longer. So it's been around since like 2011. So it's a little more stable, which means, it's 6-7x away from its all-time high, where like Kadena's like 20x almost, and Doge is, I don't even know. My brain doesn't work that well.
Right,
I can't count that high. So, but so with that being said, though, for those who don't know this already, why does the L7, the Litecoin miner, what does Doge have to do with it? Where does that come into play?
So Doge is a script algorithm coin as well. So when it was created, it followed the footsteps of Litecoin. So it's created on the script algorithm. So with the L7, you can merge mine both of them depending on the pool you're using. Our mining pool merge mines both Doge and Litecoin, but the rewards are all paid in Litecoin. But you can have some pools that you can get rewards in both Doge and Litecoin, but we find it easier and more simple to get all rewards in Litecoin and pay that to our holders.
Okay, so your mining pool mines both Litecoin and Dogecoin, and then it converts the Doge into Litecoin, and then you guys get all Litecoin rewards to then distribute between the NFT holders, and then a portion of it goes back to the business.
Yes.
Speaking of which, what's that distribution like? How much goes to the NFT holders, and how much goes back into the business for operational costs, expansion, etc.?
So for the current white paper that we have, so 75% of the rewards are going back to the community wallet. 10% will go to the creator's wallet, and 15 will go into maintenance, hosting, and parts, so maintenance purposes. And we're gonna introduce a reinvesting option that our holders will get to choose a percentage from the 75% that goes into community wallet that they would like put into a staking option to further expand the farm and purchase new miners. And we're going to be introducing that via DAO style vote, via snapshots, and they'll have a say. So far, we conducted a trial poll on our Discord, and most of our holders seem to be in favor of it.
So you're going to give them the option to vote on if they want to reinvest some of the profits into buying more ASIC miners to expand your mining farm.
Yes.
Okay.
And once they increase, once we expand the farm, the hash rate that's dedicated to each NFT will go up. So it's a long project. It's a long-term hold.
So how many NFTs are there in total?
2,000.
2,000.
We initially released our initial 500 phase 1, which sold out. We're currently in phase 2. I think we have about 1183 NFTs left. So we're in the middle of live mint right now.
Okay. So you're in phase 2 of your mint. You've minted out 500 of the 2,000 during the first phase 1 mint. And now you are in phase 2, and that is the remaining 1,500 NFTs. Now, is that the total max supply that will ever be, or will you guys mint out more NFTs down the road?
Yeah, for now, for Ace MinersNFT, the plan is to only have 2,000 NFTs. Okay. We want to keep it exclusive so we can actually hear and take action of what our holders would like to see. So it makes it more inclusive. We get to know our holders and on a deeper level, on a more personal level. So that helps keeping the 2,000 NFTs, the low supply.
Cool. I like that. So that's, hopefully if I end up getting one of these, if I mint one, then I don't have to worry about you guys diluting me down the road with minting out more NFTs, right?
Right. Yeah. No, we want to keep the value, and obviously the lower the supply, the higher the value. And so we don't want to touch that. It's going to indefinitely be a 2,000 supply. And we want to increase that value. We want to be able to even, let's say, where some holders can take some of their NFTs and burn them in exchange for a miner. That's something that we can look into down the road, and that will make the value go up because it'll reduce the quantity.
Interesting. Now, with one of these NFTs, they will get Litecoin from from these rigs, and then they will also get Kadena from KD Max rigs. Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct. And just a disclaimer, just so everybody knows, the price of the miners fluctuate based on the market. So the prices on the website may not always be accurate. It's actually a bit cheaper now as well, just because the market has dropped. So they're constantly fluctuating. But yes, that is correct. The KD Max and the L7. However, there is a new miner out on the market that was actually recently released and talked about from Bitmain, which is the KA3. It's a very powerful Kadena miner. It's 166 terahash. So we'll be looking into replacing them. You actually won't find it on there.
Oh,
it was just announced yesterday. It was just announced yesterday. It's they're not selling it just yet.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
but we have some contacts, and we'll be able to get their first batch, which should probably be released within the next month or so. but that is a very powerful, Kadena miner. So, and it's the same power consumption as the KD Max.
About 4 times more powerful. So.
Oh wow. Now,
yes.
Do these have the same, like the KD Maxes? Do they have the same lifespan, approximately of 5 years, like the L7s you were talking about?
In general, a good maintained miner lasts for 5 years or so. We have more of an experience with Bitmain. Bitmain, for the L3, for example, that lasted for me for 5 years now, and never had to replace any hash rates on about 5 of them. They make very solid miners. Goldshell, they're newer on the market. They're a good company. I've had one Goldshell for about a year now, no issues at all so far. And they come in with a year warranty. All miners come with a 1-year manufacturer warranty. But with the ASICS, it's pretty simple. It's not like a computer. All you have is fans, power supply, control board, and then hash boards. It's pretty easy to take apart and put all together. You can purchase part and fix it up yourself.
Yeah.
Very cool. And like this L7, even if the prices are a little cheaper than what it's showing here because it's the bear market, that's like almost $15,000. That's crazy.
Yeah, they used to cost $25,000 a few months back, a month ago.
No way.
Actually, don't remind me, because I pre-ordered mine back in November, and I actually paid about $22,000 on average per unit. So don't remind me. But I've had the dollar cost my average, way into it. So I purchased them when they dropped as well. So that kind of brought down that average to maybe 16, 18,000, but still, it's a lot of money.
Yeah. And how many of these are you running again?
So in total,
so far for the project.
Yeah, for Ace Miners.
For Ace MinersNFT, we're running right now 4 L7s, 4 KD Max. We took a portion of the phase 1 mint proceeds and purchased that to get our phase 1 holders up and running and accumulating some Litecoin and Kadena. But for phase 2, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to purchase it because prices have gone down since then. So we're planning on purchasing about having a total of 40 miners, either L7/KD Max or waiting on the K3 to come out. So we're waiting. We might have to revisit the number and increase the hash rate that we have on the white paper.
So you're thinking of 40 of these devices between the L7s and the new gold shell KD.
Gold shell KD Max would have been 20 each. However, with the new KA3 that's coming out, it's going to be less miners, but the hash rate will be higher.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the dedicated hash rate per NFT is going to go up as well. So the holders will be able to generate more rewards just because we'll be investing in a much better Kadena miner.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the price point to come out for the sales price, MSRP price from Bitmain. They haven't released that information, so we can't really project or calculate how many of them we can afford yet. Okay.
So the NFTs, they actually give you an amount of hashing power per NFT. So if I buy or I mint one of the Ace Miner NFTs, what how much hashing power would that attribute to me?
So for our initial projection, which is we're under promising, it should be higher than that with the new KA3. We set each NFT is worth about 85 mega hash of script algorithm, which is Litecoin/Dogecoin, and then about almost 400 gigahash of Kadena power.
And with the current prices where they are, how does that translate to dollars? I know you can't give like projections or ROI or any of that kind of stuff, but just like at the current value, what does that amount of Litecoin hashing power and that amount of Kadena hashing power equate to?
So the initial, so what we did back in March, we ran a projection based on the 2021 market on an average for every month, and let's say you mine the coin every month and then you sell it at the end of the month. So we took into consideration the mining difficulties, and the ROI would have been a little over a year. Right now, the market has dipped even further since March, so the ROI might be a little bit longer than that. But what we tell all our holders is to mine the dip, accumulate as many coins as you can during a bear, because the difficulty is usually lower during a bear, so you're able to accumulate more coins, and then hold on to to the mine coins and then sell them during a bull. And it's just like if you've been mining a bull all along. So
Yeah,
the ROI in a bull is about 4 to 5 months.
Yeah, and that's the strategy
Wow.
that we personally applied for ourselves that has worked out really well. And I can tell you back in November, for example, the L7 Litecoin miner was making up to $150 a day. So that's like at its peak. And then also the Kadena miner was making, up to $400, $500 a day. So
Wow.
if you hold on to the mined coins, as AJ mentioned, then it's going to feel like you've been profitable the entire year. And so that really reduces that ROI to, 4 to 5 months.
Wow. Okay. So not financial advice, anything like that, but
Right.
in your opinions, what do you think the best strategy would be for a participant in your project, knowing what you know?
The best strategy is to kind of follow the advice. And I mean, obviously not financial advice, but just from my personal experience, holding on to the mined coins, I can tell you that I don't even pay for electricity from the mined profits. I use fiat money for that because I look at it from a different perspective. I try to step back and look at the bigger picture, because right now I don't really look at the value of what the coin is at the current moment with the market and the way it is. I try to look at it from its potential, and it has a lot of potential, both Litecoin and Kadena, which is why we've chosen those two. So I basically just hold until a bull, because, for example, you wouldn't want to sell your coins right now in a bear market. So it's essentially the same concept. Yeah.
And I'm mining Ethereum, and I'm using Nice Hash Miner right now, so it auto picks which algorithm and pools are most profitable, especially going into this whole like Ethereum transition. So like as that stuff fluctuates a lot right now, like the hashing difficulty and everything like that, it's just picking which one's most profitable. And I've got like 5 GPUs going in my house, and it converts it all to Bitcoin, and I don't want to sell any of my mining profits until Bitcoin's back over like $60,000 at least. So I'm just gonna like hold on to that basically for probably another year or so. I don't know. I'm not gonna try to time the market or anything like that. But yeah, I'm gonna try to hold on to it and not dip into those profits to pay for like my utilities and bills and other things like that. So I can relate to what you're saying there.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's definitely the right move.
Okay. Now, with that all being said, you mentioned a few things I kind of want to ask a little bit more about. So you mentioned if participants who hold these NFTs want to stake them to get voting rights to then vote upon potentially reinvesting some of the revenue from these miners. So can you only do that if they stake these NFTs on your platform?
No, you don't have to stake an NFT.
Okay.
We were just naming the reinvesting option as staking, but it's actually reinvesting. So you're just gonna go into Snapshot. That's what the holder would do. Go in and then vote on the proposal that we'll send out, and then based on what the vote is, then we'll take a portion of those rewards and just dedicate them to expanding the farm. But it's not staking. You don't have to stake your NFT.
Okay, what was the staking thing that you mentioned earlier? How does staking come into play in this?
I think Zara mentioned it, burning an NFT by offering, that's something down the road, by offering a miner, an actual physical miner in exchange for the NFT. We can give our holders the opportunity to burn the NFT and actually receive a miner. So that's work in progress.
Wow. It's work in progress. And obviously the most profitable miners are very loud. And, they would have to be hosted at a facility. So we're trying to navigate that to see how it would work. But that's definitely an option, and that will reduce the supply. So that'll be even better.
So you're considering allowing people to burn their NFTs in exchange for a physical miner hosted and run at your facility for them.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not going to like mail them an L7
if they want it.
If they want to, honestly, that's an option as well. Both options, and it's their choice. At the end of the day, it's it's obviously not mandatory. It's just a choice that they would have to make that call on their own.
Okay. Now, with sustainability in mind, I believe we saw that 75% goes out as rewards, and the other 25% goes to operational costs, hosting, electricity, team salaries, all that. Um, is have you figured out like how sustainable that would be in terms of like say 5 years down the road, some of these L7 start burning out and you need to replace them? Would those would that 25% that you guys have set aside from this whole initial mint and like all the hashing that's been going on, would that be able to support buying new miners specifically for Ace Miners NFTs to keep this thing going and paying out rewards to or paying out hashing power to the NFTs beyond 5 years, for example?
Right. So yeah, so 10% of the rewards will go to creators wallet, and then 15 to maintenance, and then 75 will go back to the holders. But from that 75%, they will take a percentage, let's say 25. So then you'll have 50% go back to the holders, 25%, for example, will go into reinvesting, 15 into maintenance, 10 to the creators wallet, and then whatever is left from that 15% that goes into maintenance, maybe if we don't use all of it or in a bull, we don't have to pay that much hosting and we have leftover funds in there, we'll add that to the reinvesting option, to the 25% that we have, so we can reinvest into buying new miners.
With that amount that goes towards expenses, you think in your business plan and projections when you designed this business, you think that will be sustainable for yourselves and the NFT holders for years to come down the road? I know a lot of DeFi projects are very short-sighted and only have like a 3-month or 6-month runway or lifespan. What are your projections in terms of like how long this project could last?
So this is a very long-term project, and what we tell our members is this is not a quick flip. You know, you don't mint an NFT and then go and resell it for profit. Now, this is something that we're in it for the long run. We're also interested in expanding the farm, which is why we're offering the reinvestment option. So from our projections and calculations, this is something that we would certainly be able to do. Now, again, it does depend on the market because the price of the miners do fluctuate based on the market. So let's say we can time it so that we can purchase these additional miners during a bear, for instance, kind of like what we're doing now, just to be so that we can maximize profits. I mean, honestly, I always tell this to my customers, don't purchase miners during a bull. You really want to take advantage of the bear. And it's the same thing with purchasing the coins, you know. Mm-hmm. But people don't really see it that way. Once Bitcoin goes back up to 60 or 70,000, that's when they want to invest in Bitcoin miners. And at that point, it's like back up to, you know, 13,000 as opposed to 4,000 right now. So, you know, we just have to time it perfectly. And, you know, in this market, it's unpredictable as well. And especially with the ever-changing nature of crypto. So we have to really be mentally prepared for that.
Okay. Yeah. And I've seen that every bull market, everybody's like, oh, I got to get graphics cards, I got to get GPUs. Yeah. And then you see the prices of those things go so high or just become completely unavailable. They'll be sold out. Yeah. And then you've got like the gamers and they're all angry because they're like, oh, the miners took all of our graphics cards. And yeah. Then like right now we're in a bear market and you see all the prices going down. And it's all based on the crypto market. Like it has nothing to do with gaming, really, for the GPUs nowadays. So people who are in the mining game, you know, they're out here waiting for these moments when the prices are down to buy up all the rigs and get them going. And then once the bull market comes and everybody else starts FOMOing in, like they've been sitting there mining coins the whole time, and then they can resell the equipment at a huge markup. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've seen that multiple times, Alex. I mean, I can tell you a ton of my customers purchased a KD5, KD6 at, you know, $40,000, $50,000. And right now you can get them for maybe 6,000 or less.
Oh, man.
You know, so it's a big difference. Yeah. And I always recommend that to my customers. If you want to get into mining, this is the best time to do so in terms of the prices. And I think, and this is why it's a good time to introduce an NFT project as well that is focused on crypto mining, because we're able to secure these miners at a lower price. We're also able to sell and mint these NFTs at a lower price because of that, because we're using the mint funds to purchase these miners. So essentially, it has to do with the price of the miner, and that's how we price our NFT. So this is a really good technical into it.
Now, how much does one of these NFTs cost right now?
$450 US. It's in Ethereum, so it's the equivalence of Ethereum right now, which is about 0.26 ETH.
Okay. Okay, so about a quarter of an ETH, approximately $450 US, gets you one of these Ace Miner NFTs. And I'm going to share my screen again and show, like, this is the artwork here, right? This is what the NFTs look like if you were to mint one. And what can you explain the artwork? Like, what was the thinking behind this? Is this an ASIC robot person creature? Like, what? We've lost AJ again. There he is.
Oh, yeah. So basically, we actually came up with this concept. I was kind of drawing stuff out, and I found an artist that is really experienced in the NFT world. And so, as you can see from the image, it's an ASIC miner. So the head is the ASIC. And then we've got all of these cool features. We've got the Litecoin sweater, Litecoin shirts. We've got Ethereum jacket, Bitcoin logo on the tops as well, and different expressions and traits, as well as backgrounds. We have Bitcoin backgrounds and all these different variations. Now, we do have 3 rares in our second phase. So we have 3 legendaries that are 1-to-1. Which are going to be worth a lot because obviously there are no replicas of them. There's only 3 in the entire 2000 collection. So, we wanted something that really depicted what we're doing, essentially. So we wanted to include miners in there and be able to diversify because we're a diversified mining group and portfolio. So that's something that we kept in mind.
Interesting. I want this one. I want the stoned miner smoking a blunt with his little ukulele on his back, and I don't even... Is this like a UFO chained to him, like his little pet UFO flying around him?
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it. This is great.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, so these are cool.
Yeah, we're very,
What's that?
Sorry, we're 420 friendly because we have a community on Discord that is, really into 420. So we wanted to kind of add that in for them.
That's cool. I am 420 friendly as well, and I think that's awesome. I know a lot of people in like the CBD industry and the medical marijuana industry. Cannabis and all that. So I fully support it. I love having a stoned miner NFT dude smoking a blunt. So that's cool. Yeah. So
I've got to send you some of our merch, maybe with the stone miner. I'll send you a hoodie with that.
That would be so cool. Absolutely. And I try to do this with anything like that. If you send me any merch, try to give me like a gift card kind of thing or whatever for your merch shop that I can give to my audience. So that way, like anything that I have, I want to be able to be like, look, I got this sweet merch for like doing these AMAs or whatever. I want to be able to give you guys the same thing. So I could do like a merch giveaway and then somebody else could get a cool ASIC smoking a blunt on a sweatshirt. I think it'd be a fun giveaway.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I'd definitely be up for that.
Now, who is Sarah? So Sarah is not here. I've talked with her a little bit, but for the people who don't know her, do you want to explain who Sarah is on the team?
Yeah, absolutely. So Sarah is our project manager. She coordinates pretty much everything. She also manages Ace Miners Pro. So she deals with a lot of customer orders and things like that. She's very active on Discord with our community, and we like to get to know them on an individual level. So Sarah's background lies in, management and business. So she's really been such an asset to the company, and she's helped us out a ton. Unfortunately, she's not able to make it, but she's always active with us on Discord. We go into some voice chats on Discord as well every once in a while, so she does attend those as well.
Cool. Yeah, I spoke with her a little bit on Discord. She's very nice as well, and so there's a bunch of stuff here. I noticed you had a pre-sale limit on how many of these NFTs people can buy, do you have any limits still, like this 10 per wallet? Is there still a limit on that?
We opened that up recently for phase 2, so it's
Okay.
open to unlimited. I think I set it up on the contract to 60, but yeah, if somebody wants more than 60, we're happy to open that up.
We had one of our members, he's actually a customer as well. He wanted to mint multiples at a time, and it was maxed out at 10. And so he asked AJ to kind of play around with the contract and change it to the max amount. So that's why we increased that.
And that's Arfan. Shout out to Arfan. He has over 100 NFTs. So
wow. He's our biggest whale. So he's amazing. He's really expanded so quickly. So we've helped him expand the farm. But he's such a wonderful person. Everybody on our community knows him. He's labeled the Godfather. So, you know, he's really active. He's amazing. Shout out to Arfan.
Shout out to Arfan. Very cool. So he is stacking the Ace Miner NFTs. Now, if I were to mint one of these pay out in Litecoin and Kadena, how would I get that Litecoin and Kadena? Does it go to like my MetaMask wallet, or does it go somewhere else?
So initially when because initially we only intended to mine Litecoin and Dogecoin, and then we gave our community a vote and they wanted to diversify with Kadena. So that changed the payout system a little bit in terms of payouts. So we were initially intending to pay out in Litecoin. You would have to verify your Litecoin wallet in a dashboard, and you'll get those airdropped to you. But now that we have diversified with Kadena, we have a new developing team working on the payout system and a new dashboard. So what we're planning to do is the main option is to convert the Kadena that's mined right before the airdrops, and then convert that to Litecoin, and still have the holder go into the website, connect their MetaMask wallet, and get a prompt to enter their Litecoin address, so that they can receive those rewards.
Interesting. So you're going to take the Kadena and convert it to Litecoin, and then the NFT holder will come to your claiming dashboard, and they will like connect their MetaMask wallet, and your dashboard will basically verify the NFTs that they hold, and then based on that, it'll show what they are allowed to claim based on their NFT holdings in that wallet they've connected with, and then on that dashboard they will put in their Litecoin address and then hit claim, and the Litecoin from the Litecoin, Doge, and Kadena all goes to Litecoin, and then they hit claim and it goes to their Litecoin address, which for the record is a whole different network. So for people who don't know, this isn't like an EVM type network. It's going to be more so like a Bitcoin type network, but it's Litecoin, it's its own thing. So you're going to have to set up a Litecoin wallet and get a Litecoin address. And then when you go to claim, that's how you do it. Did I get that right?
Yes, that's exactly right. And yes, and the other option that our development team is currently just has introduced to us a couple of days ago was to use MetaMask, to use a Polygon bridge and pay with a wrapped Bitcoin, for example, on Polygon directly to the MetaMask address via airdrops. So they're still working on finalizing the payout system, but once we have an option, we will introduce that to our community so they can vote on which coin they would prefer to receive.
Now, I think that's a really cool idea too, as much as I think having a Litecoin wallet, just getting full on Litecoin off to the side somewhere, for tracking purposes, for me, keeping everything consolidated in like my MetaMask ecosystem, and that's actually a really interesting idea. Do you think that would be an additional option, or would it be like everyone would vote and it would be one or the other?
It would be one or the other, just because of how the smart contract is going to be developed in the back end. It'll be one or the other.
Okay. Yeah. And at this current moment in time, are there any rewards being paid out, or is the claiming system?
So for phase 1, we're mining right now, accumulating Litecoin and Kadena and Dogecoin for phase 1. Those rewards will go out as soon as we mint out phase 2. So, and those rewards will go out in Litecoin, because we're going to verify the Litecoin wallet before the payout system is ready. And also, so after phase 2 sells out, we'll send out those rewards to the holders. Then with the mint proceeds, we'll purchase the new batch of miners and combine all the miners from phase 1 and phase 2 and start mining for everybody all together.
Gotcha. So right now, you're accumulating the 3 tokens, and then as soon as phase 2 is minted out, the phase 1 NFTs get paid out their rewards, and they'll be able to claim from the Litecoin address, and the dashboard isn't public yet, right? So you can't find the claiming dashboard at this
not yet.
moment in time. Okay.
Not yet, but it's going to be on the main website where you're looking at this dashboard is going to have a connect wallet and claim rewards as well.
Okay. So when that's ready, phase 1 people can take their rewards, and then you'll take the proceeds from the phase 2 mint, buy the rest of the miners, and then all of the miners that you had from phase 1 and phase 2 will be in one big pool, and then all that hashing power will be divvied up to the 2,000 NFTs, and then the profitability in terms of dollars or whatever is going to be based on whatever that hashing power is. How often do the rewards get paid out?
So initially, right now, per the white paper, is every 90 days, quarterly payouts, but we're working hard with a new development team to try to make those monthly.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we want to be able to offer them a platform where they can just go on the dashboard. They can see how much rewards they've accumulated, and they can get payouts, let's say, in a month rather than 3 months. So, we're working to kind of expedite that and to be able to offer that option in case the members prefer that.
Yeah. And I would prefer that too, just because, how the markets are always changing, and, 30 days to 90, a lot can happen. So yeah, I'm totally all for that as well. Now here you have your mining stats for the Litecoin miners you have currently from phase 1. So phase 1 mint out, you bought these 4, these are the L7s, right?
Yeah, it's the Bitmain 8-miner L7. Yeah. So
these things are just chugging along. And
as you can see, we mined over almost 100 Litecoins so far. So
yeah, we're almost there.
Very cool. And Litecoin right now is what, $60?
Yes.
Yeah,
so that's
$60.
So that's very, very cool. And this is a bear market too. Now,
right.
You don't have actually you do have the Kadena miners, even though it's not updating on the dashboard yet. You are in your Discord showing every day you've been posting screenshots of the mining rigs and their performance. So
yes. The reason why is because we switched mining pools from F2 pool to DX pool. So because they had an issue with F2 pools with Kadena, so we had to move them to a new pool, and there's not an API yet. So our development team is working to create an API. So they can reflect the hash rate statistics on the dashboard. But for now, we're manually posting those hash rate numbers every day on Discord.
And so how many of the Kadena miners do you have? 4?
So far, 4, yes.
Okay, and those are all chugging along and accumulating the Kadena, which will be paid out to the phase 1 holders after the phase 2 mint out completes, right?
That's correct. Yep.
Very cool.
We've accumulated, I think, over 800 Kadena, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Nice. And Kadena is about $1.58 right now. And how long has that been running?
The Kadena miners, maybe 3 weeks or so. Before we switched pool on F2 pool, we had about 200 Kadenas or 300, and then the new pool about 800. So total of 1,100 Kadenas is in the community wallet.
Nice. And you're also thinking with the phase 2 funds that are raised through this mint out, you're going to buy the brand new KD Max, whatever devices that just hit the market that are like 4 times more efficient and powerful.
Yes.
And so it's going to be
the K3.
The K3s. Awesome. And how many with all of those, when you have all the new KA3s, is that what you just said? KA3s?
Yes.
When you have all of those plus are you getting more of the L7s as well?
Yes. Yeah, we absolutely are.
So we were willing to diversify 50-50, but right now we're just waiting for the KA3 price tag and release dates. and then we'll be able to say exactly how many we'll be able to get. But if it was the KD Max and L7, we would have about 20 of each for both phases.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we also want to make sure that Bitmain is going to be able to deliver them immediately. So we're not willing to do any pre-orders because from our experience, Bitmain has a lot of delays. And so oftentimes it can take up to 6 months. So it's also based on the availability, but we are definitely interested in the KA3. And I've already been in contact with some of the connections that I have, and so I've been able to find out about that. And so they are going to be released in October, I believe, and then before the end of the year. So there will be, you know, a couple of different batches.
Okay. And so you'll have, after this mint out is complete, you'll go through your connections with your distributors and everything with the ASICS, and you'll get 20 of each or however it plays out, and then they'll all go into the pod. They'll start chugging away, and that'll all go into basically one big Litecoin pool in the community wallet, which then gets distributed every 90 days as rewards. And that's currently the plan, right? And then obviously you'll adjust and adapt if your developers come up with like a 30-day claim dashboard system and all that.
Right, exactly right, yes.
Cool. And the public mint for phase 2 is live right now. So this is actually mint.aceminersNFT.io. So you recently started phase 2 mint. So there are only 1,500 available. Well, about almost 1,200 available. So these are currently on sale right now. If people are looking to mint the NFTs, they have, I don't know how long this is going to last for, but hopefully by the time my video drops, there are still some available for people, because it's going to take me probably a day or two to get this video ready and everything. But if there's still some available, you can get them at mint.aceminersNFT.io. And it says here you can buy with credit card. Does that work?
Yes, it does. Yes,
really?
It's integrated with CrossMint. Yeah, you can use your credit card, and then it converts the funds to ETH, and then you get the NFT. So you don't need to have ETH at all or go through an exchange. You can use your credit card from using that button.
Yeah, it's a very easy platform. We really like CrossMint, and you know, fairly simple for those that are not very familiar with MetaMask or how to transfer ETH to your MetaMask. So this is a really good option.
Yeah, I think that's very cool that you're allowing fiat to you're onboarding fiat to get the NFTs. That makes it a lot easier for some people and just gives additional options. Some people might be in a situation where it makes more sense to use their fiat than their crypto because of what you were saying earlier. They might not want to sell some of their other crypto that they have right now because we're in the bear market. They want to hold it until the bull market.
Exactly.
Now, with this being on Ethereum network, gas fees are super high. With proof of stake coming, they keep saying it's coming, right? One of these days.
6 hours to go, I think.
Yeah, any day now.
Really? I don't believe it. They've let me down so many times that I was just like, I don't believe them anymore.
Yeah, but they've been saying it for years.
Yeah, years. With that coming, will Ethereum gas prices come down, do you think?
As far as we know, they said that it's not going to affect the gas prices until 2023 when they're going to work on their new upgrade. But this is just moving straight up from proof of work, like you said, to proof of stake, but it's not going to make gas fees cheaper.
I see. So when people go to claim their rewards, and will there be an Ethereum gas fee for that transaction?
So that's what I was trying to say. Development team is working on creating, that's why they gave us Polygon Bridge as an option, because you can use your MetaMask address and then send, for example, a stable coin like USDC on Polygon, which has a lot lower fees than Ethereum.
Yeah.
And you can still hold those in MetaMask.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a great option too. And then also the Litecoin thing, that would be separate.
Yeah, that's
like outside
a lot
of the
lower
whole...
fees.
Yeah,
exactly. It's outside, and the fees for Litecoin are 0.007 per transaction, so it's very, very low.
Very low.
Cool. So, because I was just recently for like the hydro whales thing, I was trying to mint one of those a few weeks ago, and it was like $8 to mint it, and I had like $6 in Ethereum in my wallet. And I'm like, oh no! And by the time I like transferred the funds around, the mint was done, right? And I like lost my opportunity. And so even just claiming the rewards to interact with that smart contract, because the NFT is going to be on the Ethereum network, because it's obviously the most popular NFT network still, right? Like,
yes,
that's like the go-to place for NFTs, the most bustling NFT secondary marketplace and all that. So will there be like that Ethereum transaction just to like initiate the claim function, or do you think that'll be minimized?
No, since we're thinking it's either going to be Litecoin or a stable coin on Polygon, it's not going to be in Ethereum. It's going to be a bridge on Polygon and Ethereum. The gas fees are expected to be a lot lower than Ethereum fees. Nowhere near Ethereum fees are.
Awesome. Good to know. So I have a lot of people in my community who actively, vocally say, I won't touch anything on Ethereum network because of the gas prices. So that's why I was trying to like dig down and be like, is that at some point, am I, except for the minting maybe, at some other point, am I going to get hit with like a $4, $5, $6, $7, $8 transaction fee on Ethereum? And you're saying probably not.
No.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Good to know. And for me too, because I'm a cheapskate when it comes to this stuff. I'm always trying to save money whenever I can. So that's good to know. Now, I kind of want to touch on the security, the team, transparency, KYCs, doxing, audits, and all that. So first things first, is the whole team doxed or KYC'd?
Yeah, the whole team is fully doxed. We're super transparent. So we've actually had a legal audit as well. So we have a legal team that specializes in NFTs. And the same thing that you mentioned with the security aspect of it, they specialize in that as well, which is why we chose them. And they've been able to do a full audit on our project. They've also been able to do a purchase report. We've submitted all of those receipts as proof of purchase for the miners, the location of the miners, as well as the hosting agreement and things like that. So they've been able to verify everything. And in terms of the security standpoint, because we are offering a hash rate power per NFT, it is something that's tangible because it's hash rate power from the ASICS. So it's considered a utility token rather than a security token. So we're not offering a percentage or anything like that. You know, we're specifically offering a physical miner in exchange for that. It's just the hash rate power that converts into rewards.
Okay. So, and you think, that's a smart way to do it, I think, because we're going to be facing regulatory bodies trying to, get in here, and especially in the United States where we're all located. And you got to be careful with, this NFT is, a dividend or profit sharing. You can't make offerings like that, because then the SEC comes in and says, hey, this is my domain. But as a utility NFT, where your utilities just give you a share of the hashing power, that as far as everybody knows is totally kosher. In terms of like future regulations, it should be probably the safest play in terms of this business model, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what our legal team has advised us. They have specialized in this field specifically, which is why we chose to go this route, because we're offering, this hash rate power that is later converted into rewards. And so, that protects us in a way.
And we released the true hash rate.
Also, it's similar to cloud mining as well. So it's basically like cloud mining, but just with an NFT aspect added to it.
Okay. And AJ, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say that we're talking about the hash rate dedicated to the NFT. So we're going to come up with the true hash rate as soon as we order those miners with all the mint funds. And then we're going to dedicate that hash rate in the white paper to each NFT as well.
And then that hash rate could even go up if you expand and compound the mining rewards into more miners, right?
Exactly. Yep, absolutely.
And do you guys want to, like, I've actually worked with this legal team before. The funny thing is, like, you guys are using the same team that drafted a very, very scary NDA for me to sign for hydro whales. And so these guys, this is a, big crypto specializing law firm, and I have worked with them and signed contracts with them for things. So I don't know if that is that confidential information. Was I allowed to share that information?
No,
Sure,
you're fine.
you're good.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Yeah. So I have worked with this firm before. It's the same firm I believe that Hydro Whales is using, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So for anybody watching, I recognize this firm. I have worked with them before. So this is a real audit. I know it's crazy out here, but people spoof stuff like this and will create fake like smart contract audits. They'll even create fake smart contract auditing companies and KYC companies. They'll make like a fly-by-night website, make it look legit and professional, and be like, here you go, see, we're audited by, the popular term people use is Bob's Burgers, KYCs, or audits, and then it's just like they're gone the next day, and then poof, they never existed. But I can tell you, this is an actual crypto law firm, and I've been out here in this space long enough where I have actually worked with them, so good. I'm glad that I recognize them as part of my DD on you guys. I was like, hey, I remember them. So, and then another thing for you guys are like, if anybody's concerned about you guys being like legit and who you say you are, here's a picture of you, Zara. At which convention is this actually?
This was Mining Disrupt in Miami in July, which is the world's largest mining convention. So it was really interesting. We actually secured a booth, and we also attended Bitmain's events because they were in Miami as well around the same time. So it was a very, very nice event. We got to meet a lot of different companies, a lot of different crypto miners, and people who are really interested in this space. So it was great.
That's awesome. I would love to go to something like that one of these days. And I mean, this would be very, very crazy for somebody to try to fake. This looks just like a convention booth. And I mean, let me zoom in here on, look at all the pens. Nobody's going to go out of their way to get that many pens made for anything. So yeah, you guys are, a real project. This isn't some like fly-by-night DeFi, like, grab the mint money and run kind of thing. Like, you guys are out here networking with big players in the crypto space at conventions. You're fully doxxed. Yeah. And I just want to point all that stuff out for anybody who, I mean, it's bear market and people are getting rugged left and right now. And so I'm trying to bring more projects to my audience that are run by like earnest, genuine people and teams that, like, whether the projects as business models or whatever, like, these are all fintech startups, right? Nobody knows how everything's going to play out. But, like, at least the people that are running them, you can kind of get an idea if they're, like, legit people running these businesses or if they're, like, hiding behind fake profile pictures and aliases and they've got, like, fake-looking stuff and then, poof, they're gone the next day and there goes $5,000 again. And it's just, like, that cycle I keep seeing my audience going through. So I want to be able to bring projects like this, like Ace MinersNFTs and some other projects I've been working with lately that, like, I take a lot of time to review and filter and vet. And, like, as you guys know, I vetted you guys before I even agreed. I was like, before I agree to anything, I want to talk with you guys face to face. I want to look through your materials, and you guys kind of had to, like, prove to me that you were legit. And the more I dug, the more obvious it became that you guys aren't like these, fly-by-night kind of rug pull companies. And that's not saying you can say anything with 100%. So anybody listening, do your own due diligence. Don't just listen to all YaBonks here. Do your own research and everything like that. But I'm just showing you what I found and giving you my opinions. So
right. Yeah, and we've been fully transparent with our community. This is a way for us to introduce more members to crypto mining. So from the get-go, we wanted that full transparency. And obviously, we put ourselves out there. So we're very serious about what we do. We already had a business registered with Ace Miners Pro. but they are two separate entities. But yes, full transparency on our end. Our whole team is docs. We have a full audit, as you just shown, and we decided to go with the legal team that really specializes in this.
Now, this is a legal audit, so this law company, if I remember from when I was reading through this, they are verifying, like you said, your purchase orders for the miners, your facility, that it exists and it is where it says it is and doing what you guys are saying it's doing. And then they're also going to be doing ongoing monitoring of your operations to make sure that you are paying out the rewards that you are stating you're going to, and that the NFT holders are going to get access to those rewards. The dashboards are going to be maintained and publicly available. Your communities and social media accounts are going to be maintained and publicly available, as well as basically your business operations. They're going to do ongoing monitoring to make sure that all of this stays functional, right? So that's a different kind of audit than I'm used to. I'm used to like a smart contract audit. So this is this is cool though. I think everybody should have one of these.
Yeah, this is a long-term audit. It's a long-term, it's an ongoing thing, because we do provide these audits as we mint out. For instance, with this final phase, we'll be able to take those mint funds and purchase more miners. So we're going to provide those receipts to our lawyers, and they'll be able to offer us more audits. So, it's an ongoing process, and it's a long-term audit.
Awesome. So that's great. I really think every project should do something like this, because we see, like, as soon as a rug pull happens, the Discord server disappears, the Telegram server's gone, the website goes nowhere. It's just a, page not found, and then of course, like, the liquidity's gone, and there's no funds left in the pool, at least no valuable funds left in the pool. So this is an interesting concept. I'm actually going to be recommending stuff when projects ask me for advice about how to gain more trust in the wider community. I'm going to start saying, get a legal audit to monitor your ongoing activities and kind of guarantee, to an extent, your presence here as a business, to make sure you don't just say, oh, I'm bored of this, I quit. Like, this gives you kind of some fiduciary duty to these people that, basically minted these NFTs and put their faith in you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I highly recommend this legal team. They're experts in the field and they know what they're doing. So highly recommend them.
Awesome. And this legal audit is on your website. So if anybody wants to read it, it's public information. What I said earlier, I realize now, it wasn't anything confidential. I did not break that NDA, you guys, so don't come kill me. Not you guys, but the other guys. Like, this is all public. I am traumatized. But you can find the same style of audit on that other project I was telling you about on their website, same company name. So, like, somebody probably has already put that together in their heads. I just know because I was actually, like, reading every single word and signing the documents. But this is great. Every project should be advised to get something like that if they can afford it. Now, with that being said, you've got smart contracts involved here. Have you had any, like, technical audits on your smart contracts?
So the smart contract, the payout smart contract, is being revised because of the Kadena and diversifying, but we release that information as soon as it's out to our holders, our community. Okay.
So once that smart contract is done being revised, you do plan on getting, like, a technical audit to make sure there aren't any, like, exploits or anything like that? Okay.
Yes, cool. Exactly.
Awesome. Well, yeah, this seems like a real project. I try to be objective, right? I try not to be like, this coin or this, like, NFT is going to the moon, and I got, like, my little light up moon back there nowadays, so I can, every time I think about saying something bullish, I like to point to the moon and say, Alex, don't be a moon boy. But my audience is very smart, and they are able to make up their own decisions. And at this point, they know none of this is financial advice. I'm just kind of like some software DeFi journalist out here, just trying to ask, like, whatever hard questions I can think of and really paint a full picture of what you're offering and what the risks are and the potential rewards with this model that you've laid out. What do you think I know you said you're looking at with the bull market, in a bull market, it could be like a 5 to 6 month ROI, but in your projections over like the course of kind of a bear run with over like 2021, like bull into bear, it was more like a 12-month ROI roughly based on the numbers of the hashing difficulty and the prices of the coins month to month over 2021, I believe.
Yes.
So with the phase 2 mint, when that completes and you guys launch the 40 new miners that you're planning into your pod, do you have any new projections? Have you kind of gamed that out, what it's going to be like for an NFT holder at that point?
So the thing that we're waiting on the most is the Bitmain KA3 that's coming out, because we need to know the actual price tag on it to be able to project how much hash rate we can dedicate to each NFT to be able to convert that into the rewards. But let's say in a bull, last time I made some calculation based on the KD Max, the older gold shell model, based on 40 of them, each NFT would have taken last year's bull into consideration. Each NFT would have made about $130 a month after fees and everything.
Wow. So each one of these would have made $130 a month, and you're looking to get 20 more of them. So so that's like a couple $1,000s a month from the KDA side, and then a couple thousand from the LTC and Doge side.
No, that's the actual NFT that's making 120, not the miner. That's based on 40 miners. Each NFT will be making about 120 in a pool.
Right, how do I mint one of these again? Where's my ledger device at? Dude, that's crazy. So you're saying each one of these NFTs just on has the potential
on the KD Max and the L7. Yes.
Between the KD Max and the L7 during the bull market, $120. This is not financial advice. This is all just projections. We're just making up numbers, examples based on yada, yada, yada. None of this is, real. We're not guaranteeing any returns here for anybody watching, right? This is all us pontificating. It's just like we're like this guy sitting back, smoking our doobs, just like, what? Think about the next bull market. What could the potential be? And I mean, look at the number right now. KDA's about Kadena's like $1.60, and it got up to like almost $28 in the last bull run. And I hear that the network the blockchain is still growing and like scaling, and layer 2 is going to be built on top of that, right? Right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And with Kadena, it's in its infancy stages. The potential for Kadena to be the first fully scalable POW network is immense. It's the potential for Kadena can be even higher than Ethereum because the gas fees are low. You can conduct a lot more transactions than any other network at one time, and it's still proof of work, which is very secure in my opinion. Much more secure than proof of stake.
The language, instead of using like Solidity like you would on Ethereum, you'd be using, I think was it Pact? Pact. And Pact has a lot of safety checks built into it that Solidity doesn't. Yeah. So Solidity, you can basically code yourself a minefield of potential exploits, where Pact has a lot of checks built into the actual language itself that'll kind of give you guardrails to prevent you from leaving exploits in your contracts. Did I get that right, AJ?
Yes, exactly. Yep.
So Kadena, that's why a lot of people are very bullish on Kadena going forward, because all of those things we just mentioned, plus I am a fan of proof of work. Proof of stake's cool and all that, yada, yada, yada. But like, I think proof of work in terms of true decentralization and security is where it's at, because it's going to be very hard to take down a fully decentralized proof of work network, as we've seen with Bitcoin.
Yeah, you need to have access to 51% of the miners that are on the network to be able to do that. So
exactly. And proof of stake's great for like energy efficiency and all this, but it really consolidates the power into a few people with a lot of money.
Yes.
So that's my opinion, right? A lot of people, that's a very contentious issue, but I'm a fan more so of proof of work. Like you guys are leaning heavy into that. Your bias is apparent with Litecoin, Kadena, Doge, and I share a similar sentiment as you guys.
Yeah. No, we're definitely big fans of proof of work. I mean, it's the whole decentralization aspect of it. It's giving the power back to the people as opposed to kind of like the banking industry, right? It's just like 5% or less of the world's population that control everything, So it's really stepping out of that mentality and allowing people to take that power back.
And do you know how much like I don't know, like an Ethereum validator node goes for these days? Do you guys know? Isn't it
I
like
would have no
$30,000,
idea.
$40,000 or something crazy like that? And other networks are even more expensive. For like a master node and some networks is like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Stuff like that's like more than my whole farm costs, right? I run a farm with an animal sanctuary on it, right? So like I'm gonna be paying this thing off till I'm 60 years old. And one of these like master nodes on these other networks that people are buying costs more than my entire farm that I'm gonna spend my whole life paying off. Whereas one of these Kadena miners, I could get $1,500 together, save up a few paychecks, and I could go buy this, plug it into like, I don't know if it's a 220 volt. I could get a 220 volt circuit installed by an electrician for like $100 or something, and boom, I am part of the network. I'm getting profits from it. I'm making money, and I am like propagating that network in a decentralized manner as just like a normal human citizen out here, just like one person who's not like super rich, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Sorry, I could go on and on about this stuff, man. I love DeFi. DeFi's so cool.
Yeah,
so like
it is.
I love that you guys are doing this, because even with all that being said, $1,500 for one of these like gold shells, and this isn't even the newest fandangled Kadena miner, right? That you guys are talking about getting. Like some of the older models, like at $1,500, or like heck, some of the amp miners are like $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Most people can't afford that either. So that's where these NFTs, where you fractionalize those capital assets into a digital form where somebody can get a slice of it and get exposure to that really cool piece of DeFi. They get to be part of that network in an abstract way. And it does expose a bit of centralization in decentralization, because they're trusting you in a centralized fashion to manage the business. And that's why you've gone through the legal audit and the checks. And that's why I do all this extra stuff to kind of ferret out that information. But then at the end of the day, if it all looks good and you guys seem like capable operators, then one of your NFTs would be a much more affordable way for somebody like myself to be able to get exposure to your operation, being part of the decentralized network, right?
Exactly. And it gives everybody an opportunity, worldwide, because as you know, a lot of people can't mine in certain countries. And so it gives them the opportunity to just be able to participate and help secure the network. So it's a really cool concept.
I didn't even think about that. So yeah, some countries and jurisdictions just don't even allow crypto mining at all. Some like, and if you're in an apartment building like you were, and you were building out your mining farm, like my landlord would have thrown my ass out if they found out I was doing that, right?
Yeah, I was paying for the electricity, so it wasn't like a all-inclusive, utilities included, because they would have found that pretty quickly if that was the case. So I think that's why it took a bit longer for them to realize it.
And I love mining, but I'm in Florida and it is so hot here. So with my 5 GPUs, I can heat my whole house throughout the winter just with 5 GPUs strategically placed in certain rooms. And like one of these amp miners, or like the L7 or the Kadena miner, one of those probably puts out a ton of heat. So I would probably have to get like one of those grow tents that people use to like grow weed in their house or whatever, and like put the mining rig in there with like HVAC exhaust pipes to blow, with fans to blow it out of the house. but that's like a whole nother cost and ongoing operations, and I have to find space to do that. I have to figure out that exhaust system. So if I want to expand my personal mining, setup here, I would have to get something like these NFTs. Now, I know you guys got to go, and I probably should get going too. So do you guys have any final thoughts that you want to share with the audience?
Final thoughts. I mean, we are a diversified project, and that's what kind of sets us apart from the other mining projects. We're always looking for new ideas. If there isn't a latest miner in the market that we can invest in, we'll give our community a vote. And so also the full transparency on our part, audits and things like that really sets us apart from, some projects. So do your own research, not financial advice, of course, but we've put everything out there. So just come and join our Discord. We have a lot of information on there, such as the hash statistics. And again, it's a very inclusive group. And so we only have a total supply of 2,000, and we plan on keeping it that way.
Very cool.
And like Zara said, we're all community driven. So all decisions that we make for the project are community driven. And we're the only mining project so far that's been able to diversify in multiple coins. So we're willing to listen to our community and be able to always reinvest those rewards into miners and different algorithms. If a new miners come out with different algorithms, we're willing to do that if our holders, if that's what they want.
And
yeah, we don't limit ourselves to one coin or another. We're pretty open. We keep our options open, and it's based on the difficulty and the profitability as well. We take those things into high consideration. And like AJ said, the community votes on everything.
And I just want to point out that using multiple coins and algorithms gives you a level of diversification with your business here. So like a lot of the other mining NFT type projects, a lot of them are single token. So if something went wrong with that single token and they're all in on mining rigs for those, that one single token, that would basically blow up their entire business model, where you have a level of diversification where if anything were to happen with Litecoin, Doge, or Kadena, you'd have, that'd only be 1 out of 3, and you'd be able to probably keep going. Am I right on that?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Awesome.
It reduces the risk factor as well.
Very cool. I think that's a great note to end on. So if anybody wants to find you, they can go to your Discord server, as well as, what is your website again?
AceMinersNFT.io.
AceMinersNFT.io. All right. Zara, AJ, thank you so much for taking so much time to tell me about Ace Miner NFTs. This was a really fun interview for me, and full disclosure from anybody watching, I might get myself one of these because I think it's a cool way to kind of diversify my portfolio and get exposure to Litecoin and Kadena. So thank you guys for your time, and thank you, audience, for watching. I really appreciate all of the time and attention that you give to me and my my guests here. So thank you guys again for joining me.
We really
Thank
appreciate
you, Alex.
you.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Thank you. All right, everybody. I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye, Alex.